Hey guys, I'm Sabrah, your British University English teacher, and today we're looking at phrasal verbs that have lots of different meanings. As if phrasal verbs weren't annoying enough. I know they can be a complete headache. But don't worry, today we are going to master some of these common phrasal verbs that have quite a few meanings. So pens at the ready guys, let's get going. Guys, just a quick reminder, don't forget if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so that you'll be notified whenever we put up a new lesson. And also you can find us on social media. So the first one is go off. Now if something goes off, if it's machinery or if it's a light, this can mean it has stopped working. For example, you can say, oh, the lights have gone off. Or you could say, oh, it's getting a bit cold. I think the heater must have gone off. So it actually means it's turned off. So this is for lights and for machinery. However, this is the wonderful thing about English. It is slightly illogical, well, very illogical actually. And actually, in some cases, it can mean that something has rung. So if a warning device, like it could be your phone or an alarm, if that rings, you can say that that has gone off. So you might say, I was in big trouble when my phone went off in the exam. Or you could say, my car alarm went off in the night. It really disturbed the neighbours. So there it actually means it rang. So a little bit strange that we've got one which means stops working and one which means rings, but that's English for you. Also, if we talk about a gun or a bomb going off, this means it has either fired or exploded. So if you said the bomb went off, it means it exploded. So again there, it actually means activity rather than inactivity. Meaning number 4 is if you smell food and you think that the food is old and is not good anymore, particularly things like dairy or meat or vegetables, things which obviously, you can't eat them anymore, they're not fresh anymore, you can say they've gone off. So you can say, oh, I think the milk's gone off. Or you could say, oh, I think that that salad we had, I think that's gone off now. It smells a bit funny. So it means it's not good anymore, not fresh. And the last one, meaning number 5, can also mean to leave and to go to another place. So we could say, well, Leila's gone off on holiday. She's gone off to Italy with her husband for a lovely romantic break. You could say that, or you could say, oh, she's gone off to live in South America actually. She wanted a change of scene, so she's gone off to live in South America. I should probably mention one last meaning for go off. It's not as common, but I think it's good to mention it. To go off something, if we go off something, we stop liking it. So as a lot of you know, right now I'm pregnant, I'm expecting a baby. And a lot of my friends have asked me, have you gone off anything? Meaning, have you stopped liking any foods? And actually, I can tell you I have gone off olives, which I used to love. I loved olives. But in this pregnancy, it's very strange. I've gone off olives and had a crazy craving for chocolate. I think my baby's going to be a chocoholic. But yes, so to go off something, to stop liking it. So you could say, oh, I've gone off the idea of taking my IELTS exam. It sounds too intense. I've gone off the idea. The next one is to go through. So we've got 4 meanings here. So to go through something. So this can mean to physically go through, so to be inside of or to pass through. So we go through tunnels, for example, or we can say that we go through towns or villages on a journey. So you might say you'll go through lots of pretty villages on your journey to Rome from the south of Italy. The second meaning is that something gets officially accepted or approved. So we could say the plans to build a new school have gone through. The council has agreed to them. The plans to build the new school have gone through. The council has agreed to them. So that would mean they've said yes. So that can mean to go through, to be officially accepted. We also use this for monetary transactions. So if you're buying something in a supermarket and the shop assistant says, I'm really sorry, this transaction hasn't gone through, it means it hasn't been approved, it hasn't processed. Maybe you don't have money in the account. Very embarrassing if that ever happens. Next meaning is to experience something. So to be experiencing something or passing through a particular phase. So we might say, he's going through a difficult time since he got divorced. He's been going through a difficult time. Or we might say, the world economy is going through a tough period after the coronavirus. Last meaning is actually the same as look through. So it means I need to read through a document, or I need to read through a presentation, but something physically, I need to look through it and to get familiar with it or review it. So for example, we might say, I need to go through the notes from the meeting with you. Or do you mind if we just go through the notes you made on my presentation? Very similar to look through. We often use that in the office environment. Number 3 is give up. So we can either say we give up or we give up something. So we give up or we give up something. So we'll talk about the differences. So if I say I give up, I say, oh, give up, I can't do it. This is like saying I quit. So it's like saying, I don't think I'm going to be successful, so I'm going to stop. If you've ever done a Rubik's Cube, this tricky thing where you have to get all the colours in blocks on the different sides, it's really, really hard. You might after a while think, oh, I give up, I can't do it. Or you're trying to beat somebody or something like this, and after a while you say, okay, I give up, you win. So this is basically where we admit defeat. We say that we can't do something, so we give up. However, the other meaning is to stop doing something, so to quit completely, usually a bad habit. So if you give up smoking, this means that you have stopped smoking. If you give up chocolate, again, you've stopped eating chocolate. There are many things that we can say we've given up because we consider them to be a bad habit. Guys, tell me in the comments below, have you ever managed to do that Rubik's Cube? I would love to know, because I've tried many times and every time I get stuck. So I would love to get your tips and find out if any of you have done it. I bet you're very clever if you've been able to. Number 4 is come round. And basically, if we say come round to, it adds a different meaning to this phrasal verb. So if we say we're coming round to something, I'm coming round to this, or I'm coming round to that, this basically means I'm changing my mind or opinion about this. So I'm accepting this situation or this idea more. So if I say I'm coming round to the idea of moving to France, my husband really wants to move there, and I'm coming round to the idea, it means there's a possibility I might agree. Before I wasn't sure, but now I'm thinking, okay, it's possible, I could do it. So you're changing your mind. However, come round is much more general and much more like come. Come round is like an invitation. If I say come round for dinner or come round for tea, I'm inviting you. But also I can use it to mean come, as in I'm coming to you. So if I say I'm coming round to yours now, this means I'm coming to you. But it means I need to travel. I won't say I'm coming round if I'm in the next room or if I'm in the next street. It's really that you need to travel, not a long distance, but you have to get there. So I might say to Leila, Leila, I'm coming round to yours to pick up the new camera. So stick on the kettle, meaning put the kettle on, I'm coming round. Number 5 is to take off. 3 meanings we're going to talk about here. So the first one is that something becomes successful. So to take off can mean that something becomes successful. So if we say, oh, my business is really taking off, or my YouTube channel is taking off, we mean it's starting to flourish, starting to do well. So to take off. The other meaning of take off is to remove something. Now this is not necessarily just clothing. It can also mean to take something off something, so to remove something. So if I buy someone a present, I might think, oh, must remember to take off the price before I give it to them. Must remember to do that. Very embarrassing if you leave the price on, if not. Last meaning for take off, we've touched on it already. This is, of course, when a plane goes up. So when the plane leaves, we would say the plane takes off. Number 6 is cut off. So this is to cut off something or to cut off someone. Different meanings in each case. If you cut off someone, one of the meanings is that you interrupt them. You stop them from talking. So you could say, oh, I had to cut her off because she was talking about boring things and it was getting too tedious for me. So I just had to cut her off. So it's literally that you say, I'm sorry, I don't want to, I need to go, or please don't talk about that. But in some way you interrupt them and stop them talking. So to cut someone off. The next one is much more literal. If you cut something off, it can also mean to remove something. So if you cut off your hair, this means you cut it very, very short. When I was much younger, when I was a teenager, I wanted very short hair, kind of a boy cut, which I did have for a little while, but I really, really regretted it. And ever since, I've kept my long hair. Another meaning, of course, is when communication fails over the phone. So if you're speaking to somebody and the line goes, you can say, oh, we've been cut off, or I was speaking to so-and-so, but then I was cut off. And we often use this in passive because obviously this is something that has happened to us. We haven't done it. The next meaning is a little bit more specific. This is when somebody cuts you off from the family, usually so that you don't inherit any money. So if your parents or grandparents or someone like that cuts you off, it means that they don't have anything to do with you for some reason, usually because they don't approve of something you've done or whatever. Maybe they're not a very nice person, who knows? And this means that they will stop you from inheriting. They don't have anything to do with you. They cut you out or cut you off from their life, and you will not inherit any money. So it's very bad. So we could say she was cut off without a penny when she married the man her parents didn't want her to. Her parents cut her off. Number 7 is to go out. So the first meaning is to stop burning or stop shining. So if we say the lights have gone out, we actually mean they've gone off, they've turned off. But if we say the fire has gone out, again, we mean the fire has died, it's stopped burning. So we might say the fire went out during the night, and so we were all very cold. So in that context there, it means that it has died. The next meaning is very different to the previous one. And this one is that something is broadcast on television or radio, or that a film goes into the cinemas. So you might often read, the film is going out on March the 7th, or whatever the date. So this means it's going out to the cinemas, it's going to be there, that kind of thing. So you'll probably see it quite a lot in this context. So for example, our videos go out every Friday and sometimes on a Wednesday. So it means to be broadcast for the public. The next meaning, we need of to add here to make the meaning different. To go out of. And this means to exit from a competition or tournament. So we might say, England have gone out of the World Cup at the semi-final stage. Or she went out of the TV show when the audience voted her off. So it means you exit from that competition or from that tournament. Of course, go out can also mean to leave. So to go out for the evening, to go out for a coffee. So it means to exit from your house to go somewhere. And that's probably the most common meaning of the word. So we might say, are you going out tonight? Meaning, where are you going tonight? Where in the town are you going? Very, very common to hear it used like that. Last one, number 8, this is to stand for something. So if we say something stands for something, this can mean that letters actually represent words. So the letters are representative of words. So like an acronym. So for example, easy one would be the USA means the United States of America. NASA stands for, and I had to check this before I told you guys, so I wanted to make sure I had it right. Hang on, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. I thought it was something completely different. I thought it was the National Association of Space, something like that. It shows what I know. But yes, that's NASA. So that we would say stands for, so the letters represent words. The other meaning is if you stand for something, you believe that particular belief or principle is important. So many organisations stand for particular principles, particular beliefs. So you might say Save the Children stands for children's rights and protection worldwide. Or this particular women's charity stands for female equality. So it's what they represent in terms of the principle. The next meaning really means to tolerate. So if you say, I won't stand for bad behaviour in this house, it means I won't accept or tolerate it. I won't stand for bad behaviour in this house. Or I won't stand for being treated badly. Now it's important to point out that we usually use it in the negative. We don't usually say she's standing for, as in she's accepting or tolerating. We usually use it to mean he or she won't tolerate or won't accept something. So they won't stand for this, meaning they won't accept this. Right, everybody, they were our phrasal verbs with multiple meanings. There was a lot to cover there. And now at least you're familiar with lots of the different meanings of some of those very common phrasal verbs. Try to use any of them in a sentence below. I love reading your sentences when you use the phrasal verbs. See you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.